With the full conclusion of the 2023 AFL draft, most clubs have their final playing list sorted and are ready to embark on another pre-season. It's a new wave of talent that comes in, ready to impact. A lot of talk has been about the off-field programs at clubs, development and coaching. The switch around at Collingwood has been quick and impactful, with Craig McRae lauded for his role in turning around the organisation. But it does come down to the players on the field and the team that has the most talent, right? Maybe not. With the addition of another top 20 batch of draft picks, we can now assess the raw draft talent on each team's list. The first round is different every year. For example, in this draft, there were 29 picks, but in others, it's in the low 20s. So to keep it clear, here's the number of top 20 picks on your team's list going into 2024. This is around the normal length of the first round. The 18 clubs are clearly spread over 3 levels of top 20 talent. The lower end, which is between 7 and 11 players, has 7 clubs. 12 to 15 also features 7 clubs, while the highest level has 4 teams in North Melbourne, Gold Coast, GWS and Essendon. If we look at the top 8 last year, only one team in the 16 to 20 category made finals, and that was the GWS Giants. It's really no surprise considering all the top end draft picks they received coming into the competition. Stephen Coniglio, Josh Kelly, Lachie Whitfield and Toby Green are still vital members of the 22 and are now the veterans. Before last season, they did have a slight downturn of form, allowing them access to higher picks, and along with clever trades and academy help, Aaron Cadman, Finn Callahan and Tom Green have added to the talent in their group. Majority of the finals teams sit in the middle tier. This seems to be the range of picks needed to be around the mark for the top 8. Melbourne, Carlton, Brisbane, Port Adelaide and Sydney all sit with 12 to 15 top 20 players, with the Bulldogs who finished 9th also around the mark. It's roughly 50 to 60% of the 23 running out on any given day. However, there is somewhat of an aberration that doesn't fit in. The reigning premiers Collingwood aren't only in the lowest tier, but are equal third bottom, with just 9 players on their list selected in the top 20. It shows a few things about Collingwood's makeup and the importance of role players. We saw it at Richmond as a side that had few superstars, surrounded by hard workers, defensive-minded players and speed. Craig McRae, who has come off the Damien Hardwick tree, has implemented a similar strategy. Out of the 9 top 20, the quality of them is supreme. Nick Dacos, Scott Pendlebury, Steele Sidebottom, Jordan De Goey, Darcy Moore and Isaac Quainer are 6 of their 8 to 10 best players. They all fit well together, have chemistry and bring something unique to the team. Guys like Oleg Markov, Brody Myercheck, Jack Crisp and Beau McCreary are others moulded around these stars nicely to get a fluent and connected team. It shows the importance when picking of trying to address specific needs and finding plays that fit together, instead of picking the best available or a bunch of midfielders. To the opposite end of the ladder sit West Coast and North Melbourne. Both have struggled getting wins recently, but they are also at opposite ends of the talent spectrum. It's an interesting comparison. With the addition of Harley Reid taken at pick 1, the Eagles still have only 7 players that were taken within the top 20. It's the lowest in the league by 1 and has to be concerning. Veterans in Gaff and Sheed make up 2 of the other 7, so the high-end youth is limited. We all know the mistakes they made, and if we compare them with teams that made finals last year, they still need another 4 to 6 top 20 players to be in the 11 to 16 range and be in contention for finals. It's probably another 2 to 3 years down the bottom replenishing at the draft, unless they want to fast track and split picks or trade some players away. The past few drafts has North Melbourne now loaded with players picked high. They aren't just in the middle tiered stage, but beyond it, with 11 of their top 2016 players being taken within the first 10 selections, which is the second highest in the league. They also have a further 6 taken between picks 22 and 27. It's just about getting them to blossom into a functional team. They only added Colby McKercher and Zane Dersmer at pick 2 and 4, meaning 14 top 20 picks were already on their list. They have had plenty of talent for a few seasons now. Maybe a fully invested Alistair Clarkson and a stable environment for consecutive seasons will will see the talent shine at the top level. The Kangaroos are pretty much set for talent, and it's now up to them to get it growing. If they can't push up the ladder with what they have now, then you would think no amount of draft picks will ever save them. The other glaring misfit besides Collingwood is Essendon. They have the second most top 20 players, but more top 10 picks than anyone else, ahead of North Melbourne by one. The big issue with that is that most of the top 10 picks haven't been great or bad, but just okay. Andrew McGrath is a good player, Parrish is reliable, Setterfield is okay, Heppel was captain and has been a good clubman, and Peter Wright has had one big year. It's not terrible, but mediocre. It's a part of the core group of players that when compared with Collingwood's top 10 picks, show difference in quality over quantity. Again, it relates to assisting clubs with picks. You can give them as much help as you want, but if the players aren't right or the environment is poor, nothing will change. The other anomaly is that 7 of the 18 top 20 players Essendon have come from other clubs, including Jade Gresham and Xavier Dersma in this trade period. So far, the chasing of talent hasn't delivered, but maybe 2024 will show the benefit of trading for former first-round players and help Essendon move up the ladder. The AFL is clearly adding more value in being the number 1 pick, now handing out the Alan Aylett medal to the player selected number 1 overall. Harley Reid is now at West Coast, and he's the only player drafted first on their list. Specifically with Reid, the pressure to be the Eagles' saviour has been building. The highlights, fend off, are good for 10-second clips, but Reid and West Coast have a fair way to go to get into finals. If you put Bonampelli, Curnow or Sam Taylor on the Eagles' current team, nothing magical would happen. It's good to keep in mind when judging his first few games. But back to the number 1 pick, only 3 teams in Carlton, Gold Coast and GWS have 2 on their current list, so the pick has been spread out over the last 15 seasons, which is obviously a good thing. The top 20 list overall shows that talent isn't the be-all and end-all of getting to September. There is much more to running a club properly and getting the players you draft developed into AFL footballers. The tiers do show that you roughly need 11 to 16 high-end picks to be in the finals race. Any less or any more means you are in a rebuild phase with the list or have been in the bottom half for a while, collecting talent and working to get the best out of it. For now, GWS has got the highest collection of football ability and will look to go another step further next year and do the opposite to Collingwood and show that nothing beats talent.